Boom. Good morning, everybody. We are here. It is upon us. We have made it to the weekend of the century. The view is coming, baby. And I know that many of you guys are already getting packed up. You're heading on your way. I know I'm doing last minute arrangements. I have 100 of these Club Fit Challenge. So check it out. These massage guns. Check, these things are so heavy. These are so cool, right? So turn it on, set the pace, and boom. And now I need to put these little things. Oh God, these things are so cool. So I'm fired up about these for all of our winners that are going to be participating. So just to give you guys a heads up for the Club Fit Challenge. This one has gone incredibly well, and we are going to be doing more, another Club Fit Challenge, but taking it to another level, launching into the new year. So pay attention, stay close to that. But also outside of the Club Fit Challenge, we are going to be launching the updates. So you're going to be able to put in your submissions today or tomorrow, because we do know that some people are going to be in travel mode. Some people are already headed to Vegas today. Some people obviously headed tomorrow. I'm packing up the car here today and driving out tomorrow morning. So we will be seeing you in Vegas over the next couple of days. So I wanted to talk to you guys here just real briefly. This is going to be a relatively short huddle this morning because we have a lot to get done corporately as we head into the event. But before we get into that, I do want to make sure that everybody is aware of this weekend and how to prep and how to prepare. Now, if for some reason you made the mistake of not coming to Las Vegas, and I don't want that to come across harsh, I just want it to come across realistic. Okay. So, and one of the most important things is not just the view event, but this event going into the season that we're heading into. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about preparing for this weekend, some things to do, some things not to do, and how to make sure you take advantage of the weekend. So in terms of conventions, there's a few things that I have kind of looked at and I've done. Number one thing is this. Okay. So be in the room. Now I know it sounds just like an obvious statement, but for some reason why, it's one of those things that has escaped my capacity of understanding. I just don't get it. From my first convention, when I went in I was there November 2002. So this was nearly 20 years ago, 19 years ago, come to my first convention, right? And when I got to my first convention and I'm sitting in that audience and I got to absorb the information, I couldn't understand why there were so many people that were what I call lobby lizards, right? So my upline used to call them lobby losers. And you know, I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but maybe, right? So, and part of the reason why is this: the amount of time, energy, and effort, money that we spend to get to these events, and the people that are having the most success that are on stage training, developing, sharing the information, is to stay in the room at all times. And it would always boggle my mind when I needed to use the restroom. What I would do is I would just like run out like as fast as I could. If I couldn't do it during a break, I couldn't do it during lunch. I was like, oh my God, I got to use the restroom. And I would sprint out to the restroom and people would stop and try to talk to me. And I was like, no, like, why are you out here? Like, why are you out here? And why are you trying to have a conversation with me inside? And I know that I used to, like, some people would get very upset with me because I would be like, no, not out here, in there. And I would run, and then I would run, and they would be like, why is he in such a hurry? And I'm like, why are you not in your seat? Like, it would just, you know, oh, like, I can even feel it on like my body, like just the, like, because I'm witnessing it, because it happens every single year. It happens every single year, and I don't understand it. Now, maybe people want to just spend $1,000 just to socialize. I guess, like, I guess, but it never really made sense to me why people would hang out outside of the room. Now, that being said, I want to talk about hanging out because that is a very important part of the weekend, right? So, but being in your seat at all times, get in, get out, do what you got to do, right? So make it happen. If you need to grab a snack, be prepared. These are long sessions, okay? Be prepared. The room, ladies, by the way, it is generally freezing. All right, in these rooms, you guys probably, if you've ever been to conventions, all right, so it is cold on purpose. Don't go to them and be like, do they know it's cold? They know it's cold. It's cold on purpose to make sure that everyone's alert and make sure everyone's awake. So be prepared for it. Bring your jacket, bring your parka, bring whatever you got to bring to make sure that you stay in the room, number one. So, all right, have snacks with you, right? Have your shaker cup with your shake and your greens and ready to go. So you already have it with you so you don't miss anything. Now, I'm so adamant about this because there are people that will spend years in network marketing. They'll spend years in Seacret for that moment of clarity, that moment of insight, that moment of true transformation. And that moment can be happening when you're outside waiting for 30 minutes in line to get a coffee. Oh God, like, I mean, how do we can't do that. So, all right. I used to say from stage, all right, if you're a part of my team, but all of you are part of my team. So, so if I see you outside in the lobby while the event is going on, just don't come talk to me. I'm just like, I'm going to be racing somewhere. I'm usually backstage. I'm running around. I'm preparing for the next training. I'm doing something. I'm running. I'm sprinting to the bathroom. I'm never getting food because I'm just usually intermittent fasting, not on purpose because who has time to eat? It's shake time and go, right? So, but what's happening is if I see you, just be prepared. I'm going to give you a high five in the face with a chair if I can find one. I'm just like, get in the room, right? So get in the room, number one. That's just an obvious one. All right, so that's number one. The second thing is around the event, right? So around the event, generally speaking, what most people do during the event is they only sit with the people that they know. Here's a recommendation. Sit with people that you don't know. I'm not saying you got to do this all the time, right? But stretch your comfort zone a little bit here. This is your new family. This is your new community. I want to get a chance for you to meet people. One of the things that was so important for me at the convention was to meet people, as many as I could. Right? Meeting people that had different walks of life, different backgrounds, different stories, right? So in learning their stories, this was an important part of this because what I was doing is I was collecting stories for myself, number one, but I was also asked everybody if I could use them for three-way phone calls, okay? Now, the reason why I went to conventions to ask who I could use for three-way phone calls and who I could use for welcome calls and who I could introduce somebody to is because my upline, most of them ended up quitting or ended up being people that I didn't feel comfortable using because they were stealing people from my business. So, right. And so I ended up having to use pretty much entirely sideline groups of people in order for me to be able to stay connected. Now, here's what most people do is most people say, well, oh, my upline doesn't get back to me. I wish my upline didn't get back to me. I would rather have an upline that didn't get back to me than an upline that stole people from me. That would have been way better. Right. So, but also, one of the things is this, is I just said, you know what? It doesn't matter. Up doesn't matter. Up doesn't do anything for me. The only thing I'm focused on is down. So if I want to make sure that I'm helping my organization down, I'm not looking up. What care? Who care? I don't care. Like every single person above me could quit. I could care less. In fact, that's what happened to me over the years. Every single person above me quit. Doesn't matter. I could give not one, but two craps about what people above me do. I don't care, right? So, but what I knew is that I needed to have other people around me that I could learn from and use their expertise. So what happened to me is this. So I ended up getting people so I could use them for stories. So that way, the next time I was doing a prospecting meeting and I found somebody that was in real estate, I wasn't in real estate, but I was like, hey, you know what? Actually, one of my business partners is in real estate. I can't wait for you to hear her story. You know, oh my God, you're in mortgages? Oh my God, you're a dance instructor. That was obviously me. All right, you're in this, you're in that, whatever it was, I could introduce somebody else based upon their story. So write this in your notes, okay? Meet more people. Right? Number one. Now, here's the next part of this. It's not just meet people, but you're going to start seeing tags, right? So this is something that I did every single year at my conventions for years until I got to the results that I was looking for in my business, right? Until I started becoming friends. Associations are some of the most powerful things on this planet. You know, they say associations are like elevators. They will take you up or they will take you down. right? You know, you hang around 9 broke people, you're bound to be the 10th. You hang around 9 people that speak success, you're about to be success. Like, it's just part of it. So you say you lie down with dogs, you come up with fleas. Birds of a feather flock together, right? We tell our kids, be careful who you hang around. These are all language and sayings. So you want to get around people who are stretching your vision, not choking your dreams, right? So all of this and associations are so powerful. And proximity is power. Please write this down in your notes. Proximity is power. Proximity is power. Every time I have made a move in my career, and I don't mean in business, I mean physical locations, I made a move for proximity. I wanted to be closer to people that had what I wanted, or people that I thought I could learn from, mentor from, be around, understand, learn more from. Every time I moved, like seriously, when I moved my home, right? Now, obviously that's easier as a kid when you don't have children that are rooted in their schools and all that stuff. I totally understand. But I'm letting you guys know that there are people out there, right? Trish and Rob Verzera, who relocated 3 teenagers. I see Lindsay on here. All right. So 3 relocated from North Carolina to Phoenix. And a lot of that was obviously they were looking to do, but also proximity, right? So as the power of proximity. So you guys are going to be in proximity to some of the most amazing people on the planet. You're going to see their tags. So if somebody's a Royale and above, a platinum and above, if you're looking to go Royale, you're looking to go bronze, you're looking to go silver, you're looking to go gold, platinum, you're going to see dozens of them, hundreds of them that have hit these ranks. Ask them for a tip. Hey, if there was one tip you could give me. Now, some of the times there's not going to be time for conversation. I want to let you guys know a lot of these people are going to be on the go, right? They're going to be moving places. Just so, hey, listen, if I could get one tip from you on going Royale, I see you went Royale. You know, if you can give me one tip, some of them will be more than happy to give you more than one tip. They might give you more than one philosophy. But for me, what I wanted to do was study this business as if it was anything out there that you wanted to become a professional at. If you were in school to become a professional mechanic, right, you could just take the class, but then go find the best mechanics and ask, well, what's their trick of the trade? What is the little difference that they did? And you might pick up a little nugget here, a nugget here. And so what we call these is these like diamonds in the rough, right, that you're going to be able to pick up. So what's a tip on getting to here? What's a tip on getting to here? What's, you know, give me this. Back in the day, just so you know, in my first company, we had what we call the profiles of success, where it was like a thick book of all the people that had achieved a certain rank and people that were making 6 figures and beyond. And what we would do is we would have, if you knew somebody in the book, have them sign the book. Now that's a little bit different, but what if you have your notebook with, by the way, oh my God, have a notebook with you. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, right? So, but have your notebook and have them sign it and then put their name and put the tip in there. Right? So put your name and put the tip in there. So, and it might be a saying, it might be a phrase, it might be something to do, it might be an action step, it might be a philosophy, you don't know, but all of these people, all right, here's what I want you to be thinking a little bit differently. It's not just what they're doing, it's who they've become that have allowed them to achieve the results that they've achieved, okay? Now, just because somebody hit Royale doesn't mean that's the end all be all, that they are the epitome of success, but they did something. If they've gotten to a rank, ask them, what's your biggest tip? So this is one of those things. Now, outside of that, socializing, right? I always have to say this because it is Vegas. Vegas is an entertainment capital of the world. It is the adult playground, right? Friday night, you might be excited, but if you end up staying at the craps table or you end up staying at the poker room, I love poker. I could literally play poker until the sun comes up, 8 hours like it was nothing, right? So, and I can get lost in that. I will not be playing poker while I'm in Vegas until maybe Sunday night or Monday. But again, probably not even then. And the reason why is because I'm not going to Las Vegas to gamble, right? Now, I'm not saying if you've got 30 minutes and you want to go hit, blackjack for 30 minutes with your friends, it's not what I'm saying if you're coming in early. But here's what I am saying. If you stay up all night drinking or you go to the clubs and you miss the event or you're hungover during the event, I don't have any empathy for you. I just don't. So you missed it. Okay. So this is the time to invest in sacrifice. Now, part of the reason why I want you guys to understand this is what you're doing is you're not at this event for you. I want you to have a bigger perspective of this. Now, I know you're at the event for you. That's an obvious. You're at this event for your future team. I got good at the business, not for me. I was getting good at the business so I could support the team that I was going to have in the future. If you see yourself as a silver, see yourself as a gold, platinum, ruby, diamond, you have to see yourself having a big team. If you're going to have a big team, then you're going to need to lead and support that team of people. So if you're going to lead and support that team of people, I want you to think about, I'm getting good for my future team. It's what I'm doing here. It's what I'm gathering. It's what I'm capturing at this event. So not staying out, getting that stuff. These are just some tips to make sure that you have the best event possible. Let's talk about notes, okay? Have a notebook, a physical notebook, right? I do know that there's some people that love typing everything out. I'm just not that guy. Look, call me old school, whatever it is. Obviously there's studies on the fact that you learned how to write. So when you learn how to write and you write it down, you remember it more than if you type it. It's just obviously, how our brains work. But if you're a typer and you type on your iPad and you have your notes. Now, if you're drawing on your iPad and drawing notes and whatever that is, okay, right? I'm not gonna probably argue with you on that. However, what I am going to tell you is you have two pieces of paper, all right? So if you have this side and this side, reserve the right side of your paper for note taking of the content that's happening on the stage, right? So if it's on the screen, write it down. If it's on the screen, write it down. Okay, so this is one of those things. If it's on the screen, write it down. Obviously, the trainers are going to be saying things that's good. Anytime your body does one of these, like oof or ah, right? Anytime of those like aha moments where they say something that was good, and you're either it's a good line or a good philosophy or whatever it is, write it down. Write it down, guys. So how many of you guys have noticed through the course of my trainings how I can pull out a saying from almost anything? How many of you guys have figured this out, right? How did I do that, right? Because for 20 years, I sat inside of conventions and wrote down lines, and I was like, ooh, that was a good one, right? And so I didn't just go, that was good. I wrote it down with the intention of repeating it one day to you 20 years later on a Zoom when I didn't even know Zoom existed, to a team I didn't know that I would have. Right? So write this stuff down, write it all down. Now on the right side, on the left side, right? Here's some ideas, right? So I reserve my right side for taking notes. I reserve my left side for something different. There's left side I reserve for my list, okay? There's three things that I write on the left side. My list. So because during the convention, how many of you guys have ever been in a spot where you thought of a name? You're like, oh my God, Samantha needed to hear this. Right? So Samantha needed to hear this training, but Samantha's not there, right? So, oh my God, Jonathan needed this information, but Jonathan is not there. So what you do is you write the list on the left-hand side while you're taking notes in that section. Okay. So you're also going to think of prospects. You're not just going to think of agents. You're going to think of prospects. You're going to think of people, and you're going to be making your list. By Sunday night, you will have enough names that are pop into your head that by Sunday night, you already know who to call or who to text back. So as an example, on the left-hand side, let's say somebody on your team needed to hear that section and they weren't there. Now, guys, we promoted. I'm not letting my get look, there's enough time there. Do you guys know there are people that are going to join Seacret today that will be in Vegas this weekend? Do you guys know that? That's going to happen. Some of you guys have given up already. Oh, they can't come. It's too late. No, stop putting a limiting belief on what somebody can and can't do, right? So make sure that we're promoting. Now, when you're in the event, I'm no longer promoting this event. I'm promoting the next event. I'm promoting the next event at this event. I've started the promotion all the time, right? So I'm promoting to the next event. Now, at this event, one of the things I'm doing is, oh my gosh, Samantha needed to hear that. If you message Samantha that night and say, Samantha, I was sitting in the training and I was hearing on stage from Carrie Schneider, the twins. I don't know if you know her, but man, she's amazing. And she was doing this training and I thought of you. Is that going to help Samantha feel good? Does Samantha already feel like crap that she didn't get to the event? Chances are likely it's going to be what? Yes. right? She's not there. I'm not going to beat her up over her past anymore. How is that going to help her grow her business, right? It's not. I'm going to say, listen, you didn't make it to this event, but we got to get you to the next event. We got to get you your ticket for the next event now. Remember when you said, I'll make it to the next one? The next one goes on sale tomorrow, but I wanted you to know that I'm sitting here and I wish you were here with me, but I wanted to take these notes and share this idea with you because I thought of you. So getting back to your people. So making your list, agents and prospects on the left-hand side. The second thing I want you to make a list on the left-hand side in your notebook, write this down in your notes, is action steps. Action steps. What I mean by an action step is when somebody on stage says, here's something that you should do, and you go in your head, oh, that's a good idea. Something that needs to be done. Write it down on the left-hand side as something that you need to put into your plan or put into your agenda or put into your calendar before you leave the event, right? So before you leave the event, this is really, really, really important, okay? So now, why is this? At the end of event, I've constantly seen this. People get inspired and then overwhelmed and go home and do sometimes nothing. And it drives me nuts. I want to set you up for this convention to be the most successful convention that you've ever been to, right? So by the time you are done on Sunday, you don't go home just excited with this pure enthusiasm and then go back to real life, because Vegas ain't real life. When you're in that convention, it is a whole different high. When you're around all of us, you're in a community of everyone that believes in what we're doing, that's inspired with what we're doing, that it, you know, connected. Now, it's supposed to give you energy, but it needs to have a plan attached to that level of energy before you get home. You need to go home to set actions. You can't go home to start setting actions. Okay. So what are those actions that you're going to have? That's the next thing. All right. So the third thing that y'all want you to write down, okay, is kind of almost like a journal or a thought process. If you have a feeling or an emotion that pops into your head, I want you to think about your left-hand side as kind of journaling. So there's three things on the left-hand side: names, actions, and thoughts, kind of like your personal thoughts, right? So of how you're feeling. Your right-hand side is the content that's happening, the stage content. And the reason why I want you to separate this stuff is because at the end of the weekend, all right, when you're reviewing content of you're going to be sharing with your team, you can review from the right-hand side. The left-hand side is for you. Who am I calling? Who am I setting an appointment with? Who am I? These are the people that I'm calling, right? So I'm messaging them. So here is the rule of thumb that everybody needs to have done. Please write this in your notes. You must, if you want the event to be successful for you and your team, you must have 10 appointments minimum scheduled before you get on the plane home. This is the number one thing I'm going to teach every single one of you here today to have an effective weekend, okay? To have an effective weekend. Just so you guys know, for my groups, when I was in smaller groups and I could do this, right? The lunch breaks, okay? The lunch breaks on the last day, we would do phone zones. So it was a working lunch. I would order pizzas, we'd put them in the room, and everybody, the only thing that they did was they made phone calls to set appointments. And here was the appointment, and it was loud and it was crazy and it was all that stuff. And the appointment was very simple. I'm just saying, like if I was calling Monty, right? So Monty's back home, he's my friend. Say, hey Monty, so listen, I've only got a second, very urgent. Right? Listen, I've only got a second. I'm here in Las Vegas. I'm heading up. I'm on a plane tomorrow, heading home. I land at 5 p.m. Okay. Right. And I'm going to go straight from the airport right to your house. Will you be home? I need 15 minutes to meet you. It's that kind of urgency, right? So 15 minutes. Are you going to be home? Can I come swing by right when I get home? Sure. What's going on? Listen, I don't have time right now to go over it, but there's some stuff that I've learned about here in Las Vegas, and I just need 15 minutes of your time. Trust me, it's really important. Okay. So he's like, well, what's it all about? Well, listen, can you see what I'm holding in my hand right now over the phone? No? Perfect. All right. Something I got to show you. I will come and see you. Right. So I got to come and see you. I got to see you. We got to sit down. And when you have that level of urgency, now when you're at the event, your posture is very different. Your confidence is very different. Like we got to meet. right? So we have to meet. I got to get with you as fast as humanly possible. So what I would say is this: I land at 5. When's the closest time to 5 that you can meet, right? So I'm setting these appointments. So here's the thing: if you have a calendar to go home to, appointments to go home to, what I've seen is the most devastating thing in the world is we take people on these ultimate highs at the convention. The ultimate high, like, oh my God, life-changing information, life-changing experience, my feelings, my emotions. We laughed, we cried, you know, and I just go, and I felt like home. And then I go back on a plane, I get back in a car, and I go back to real life. Because here's the thing: you might have changed, but nobody else changed in the last 3 days like you did. And when you go back to that and you go from this to this, and you don't have an appointment schedule, you don't have people to sit down with, it is so easy just to completely lose the momentum and lose people out of this. So these are a couple of tips on making sure that you have the best convention ever, right? Stay in the room. Prepare, be prepared, have an extra pen in case it runs out. Like, I mean, I know there's common stuff. Here's another little tip: bring a portable phone charger, right? So you don't have to, you know, so you can keep your phone charged during sections, right? Now, another thing is this: phones. Oh God, try to like limit distractions as much as humanly possible, right? Put it on airplane mode for the sections and then take it off of airplane mode during the breaks if you must, okay? So these are a few different tips on it, but having your appointment schedule, a minimum of 10 appointments on the books before you get on the plane, is the number one thing that I want everybody to do. If there's a gift I can give you over the course of the weekend. Now, a couple other pieces here before we wrap up today's training and we head into Las Vegas, okay? What was I gonna say? So, team events, right? So generally speaking, a lot of times there'll be team breakouts during the lunches or during this stuff. Is find out what your upline is doing, okay? Find out what your upline, be like, well, I don't know. Don't be one of those, well, right here. So figure it out, be resourceful, okay? Right? So just so you know, I remember my upline wasn't doing things, right? Because so then I would just like, all right, so I would find somebody. I would sneak into other people's stuff. Like, I swear to you, I would find out like these teams that had these successful teams, and I would hear them because they would be loud, right? It was like Team Rhino, and I was like, oh, what's over there, right? And then I would go like sneak into Team Rhino's group. Now I would stick out a little bit like a sore thumb, but but anyway, I'm in there and I'm learning. I would find out what is going on in these groups, what are they doing, and I was paying attention to the leaders. What are they doing? How are they recognizing their people? What are the tips that they're giving their group? What's the passion and enthusiasm? Because I was picturing myself having a team of people going, okay, I want to be doing that because I feel like my team or my upline isn't doing these things. So instead of complaining about it, I learned to be able to do it for my people. Right. So as I was building my team, so what's interesting is I remember having people that thought legitimately I was a part of their teams, because I would just go to their circles all the time, right? Because they had the big circle. So I was just there and I was like, Team Rhino. No. They were like, you're Team Rhino? I was like, yeah, I'm Team Rhino. Aren't you Team Rhino? So now whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm seeing Team Rhino's name on here. It doesn't matter what team. I'm just letting you guys know. These are the things that I did. This is a working weekend. This is a working weekend, right? Now for me, people say, these weekends are absolutely exhausting. Right? So because from preparations to trainings to going from meeting to training to group to training to group to being on stage to being in the front row. And the thing is this, is I hate not being I want to be literally locked into the front row. My back is barely going to touch the seat, taking notes, giving all the energy to the speakers, because I know what it's like speaking on stage, of being able to get that energy from the front row. When all the leaders are in the front row going like this, I've heard this 1,000 times, that's not helpful. Right? So, but if you don't, I'm going to be in one of two places. I'm either preparing to speak on stage, preparing somebody else to speak on stage, or I'm in the front row. And if it's during a break, I'm in a training doing some kind of leadership training for some group somewhere across the stage. And that's what we're doing. And so this weekend is, I want you to be selfish. I want you to get it all. I want you to like go there with an intention. So, okay, what is it that you want to get out of this weekend? And go and fight for it. Go and fight for it. Don't think that it's just going to be handed to you just because you showed up. I want you to fight for your breakthrough. I want you to fight for your training. I want you to, because I can tell you that sometimes your magic moment is not going to happen at from the stage. It's not. It's going to be in a circle up that you heard that you just kind of moseyed on into. Now you can say, "Wow, I just want to go relax." I get it. I've wanted to go relax for 9 months. So, but this is not that time. We are laying the foundation to create this legacy company. And what that's going to require is all of us to go, listen, I'm taking ownership of my business and I'm building this thing. I, me, Jesse Macpherson, I, me, Tom, I, me, Monty, Lindsay, King, Barbara, Leah, Jen. That's right, Molly. Guys, I'm staring at your faces. I'm staring at the screen. I see you guys, right? So Fabio, what's up, brother? I see you lounging back there with your elbow up. How you doing, man? Right? So, right. Genevieve hitting it in the car. I've got David there. He's got the, he's got the game face on. He's ready to go. He's always listening to me while he's at work in the barbershop, never giving up on his dreams. Because look, he's got mom and dad up there that are counting on him. Like, I know, brother, I know that you've gone through hell and back again. And I know that you're still going through it. And when you're going through hell, the most important thing is don't stop, keep on going, right? You got to get to the other side of this thing. Now, is it simple as easy? I'm speaking to you guys because I was you. I'm not special, I'm not different. So I just decided that I was going to get good at this. And I was very intentional about it, very intentional. So come to this event, learn what you can, get what you can, get tips from the leaders if you can. So what if you just talk to, because some of you guys have never done this, you see people at a higher rank than you, and you got 100 tips from 100 people that have advanced to the ranks above you. If that's all you did extra this convention, it would be a better convention. If you had everyone on your team had 10 appointments before they got on the plane, do you think your business would be better the week after? Right? So all of these little tips were things that over the course of my career that have allowed me to be able to navigate and coach people through these conventions to have the best time ever. So you can do this. It's going to be challenging. But after this weekend, I can tell you the season we're heading into is absolutely spectacular. It's a spectacular season. So holidays, Black Friday, Christmas shopping, New Year, New Year's resolutions, and into spring, into our travel programs that are going to be even more popping. This is the season for the next 90 days. I'm asking you to put your head down and just have a little bit of faith. But more importantly is this: I don't want you to work for your today. I want you to work for your tomorrow. Pre-purchase your tomorrows by what you're doing today. And let's go make it happen. I will see you guys in Vegas in the next couple of days. Get close to the Club Fit Challenge group. Submissions will be opening today, and we will see you guys soon. Jesse Mack signing off, Phoenix, Arizona. See you guys in Vegas. Bye.
Thank you, Jesse.